A very, very warm good evening. It's Saturday, April the 19th, 2025. You are live on my YouTube channel, arunfoot. And one more evening to discuss Indian football, where we will talk about what's all happening, what's not happening, what should be happening. And the starting point is, as Vignesh shared, final decision. Churchill Brothers are the I-League champions. Congratulations, says Vignesh. Hi to you as well. And it just sums up, I think, what I've been saying now for a few days, how the situation is within the AIFF. I think it's this time where I think, I wrote it yesterday, I think FIFA steps in, simply ban us. Hand out life bans to a number of persons who have harmed Indian football, because otherwise we're not moving in the right direction. And let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Aditya says Kalyan Chaubey needs to resign before Inter-Kashi reaches caste, because if they reach caste, then the matter will be blown worldwide and people outside India will learn about this. I can feel it from inside that the decision is rigged. Why doesn't government support FC Goa like they do to Churchill Brothers? This is horrible news, I can feel. Aditya, you've raised a point, and FIFA has been raising a question to Kalyan Chaubey and the AIFF for a while, like over a year now, asking, because the interesting part is, I think that what we forget, that 2022, when the elections happened, that the body which came in, which took over after the FIFA ban, was an interim body, right? It was supposed to be there, prepare everything. Government got involved, Supreme Court got involved, new constitution, this, that, everything. Nothing of that has happened. So therefore, let's see. Sterling asked, so the EXCO was bought and then the appeals committee was bought. It's ridiculous to make allegation like this when we see the same old referees being bought. These charities are dismissed. Sterling, the EXCO is not involved in this. So therefore, what has been happening over the last year in regard to the appeals committee, in regard to the disciplinary committee, even in regard to the player status committee, the decisions are relatively simple. If you go by the laws of the game, very simple. So therefore, and therefore, to bring the referees into discussions, I don't know what to say. If you make these kind of statements, it's I don't know. And if you say, and this is exactly not the case, because football is not one today we're playing and winning the game on the pitch. No, there are rules to be followed in football. There are regulations to be followed in football. And if you don't follow those rules and regulations, then stop the game. Then let's play, I don't know, play in an open field. Because exactly what you see is exactly what has not happened and has not been happening under this AIFF, right? And you can see whoever is on whatever they're supporting, that, that's a problem, right? It's a disaster for Indian football. In fact, today, the most shameful day for Indian football is we see that the sporting courts don't even abide by FIFA rules in favor of absolute favoritism. Yeah. Worse than that is that once this matter goes to CAS, our remaining Izzat will be thrown in air. We don't have any Izzat. These people have killed Indian football for years, for decades. Don't give me that bullshit that they've been doing this and that and everything. No, they've killed Indian football. They've been killing Indian football for years. I've been saying this, right? And do you want to listen to it? No, people don't want to listen to it, because most of the people, as I've been saying regularly on the show, most of the people involved in Indian football only care about themselves. They don't care about Indian football. They don't care about these things and that things. No, they don't. They just care about themselves. Some will say about power. Others will say about money. Others will say about influence. Indian football comes way down. Yeah, 99% of people in Indian football don't care about Indian football. Even the fans don't care. I see that from your reactions, right? Don't tell me that you guys care about Indian football, right? Yeah, I can speak to myself. So take it. Churchill Brothers can no way compete with Inter-Country financials. These allegations are baseless. Sterling, It is not even, again, you're not understanding. Someone is playing fair and square and someone is playing dirty, right? And someone has been playing dirty not for 1 year, but since their inception, right? They're part of a cartel of people who've been harming Indian football, right? So, and it's not just them. There are other people involved. So how come it's a judge about the, again, did they bribe their way? Did they influence their way? Sterling, just ask yourself. And Aditya names, yeah. If you don't need money, power can help you more. Richer brothers have it. Yeah. Kulzari, that's a very good thing. The thing with money is, and I said this once to someone who owns a club, you know, that these interconnections are sometimes more valuable than having all the money in the world. That's the reality at the moment. I guess now Kashi will go to CAS. What next? Barcelona draws with Celta Vigo. They shall lose the first Super Cup match and I get bad grades in GE. How bad can this day get? Let's see. Good evening. I am doing fine. Ishan, hope you're doing well. Today, everyone is waiting for you. Shaggy, good evening. Good to see you. Yeah, waiting for me. Shaggy, I've been saying what I say, not since yesterday, right? I've been saying, you know, what is right for the last 27 plus years, right? 27 years and 9 days I'm involved in Indian football. And I've always said what is right. And if things weren't right for me, I've always left, right? I have tried to intervene in the interest of Indian football. But again, if you've got crooks, thieves, self-interest is more important than Indian football, that's where we are, right? And that's where we are because these people, not only the ones who are involved in this case, we can go on, look at FSDL, we can look at the ISL clubs, we can look at the whole system of clubs, state associations, academies, coaches, players. The system doesn't care about Indian football, whatever the people say. And this is I've been saying for a while because you realize it. There are few people, far here and there. But the reality is things are bad and things are getting worse. And yeah, that's where we are. Welcome to the world of Indian football in the year 2025. Your thoughts on touchdown player for AFC Women's Asian Cup 2026 qualifiers and 35 players for U19 South Championship. Saurabh, in general, good evening. Again, amongst the women, I feel some of the experienced players are left out, even though they've had a decent IWA campaign. But under 19, those to pick, right? Some Punjab FC boys in there who've been part of the ISL squad. Otherwise, yeah, let's see. Indian football is dead, plain and simple. Remaining fans are just crying over a dead body. Prabal, the problem is, you know what? That people are celebrating this. That people celebrate when their teams win, right? So there are actually quite a number of fans of Indian football. But the vast majority of Indian football fans don't care about Indian football. This is the biggest problem I have felt over the years, right? They care about their clubs. They care about this, they care about that. But they don't care about Indian football, about the whole thing. That is the thing. I mean, on a day like this, we're having this kind of discussion. We should have hundreds, we should have thousands of people, Indian football fans, you know, but we don't, right? And therefore, this is the reality of where we are in. So, listen, all live in their own little bubbles, and this is the end result of what's happening, right? So therefore, we're not going anywhere with Indian football. It's been a problem for a while, and yeah. So therefore, for me, The AIFF now has come out. I quote the AIFF Appeals Committee. As per order received from the AIFF Appeals Committee on Saturday, April 19th, on the appeal by Namdhari FC regarding match number 45 of the I-League 2024-2025, Churchill Brothers FC Goa, who have the highest number of points of the league, are now the champions. Yeah, and that says it all. That sums it up, I guess, of where we stand, and therefore, Interkashi statement coming. Yeah, let's wait and see what Interkashi says. It's a dark day for Indian football, right? Yeah. Okay, now there's an Interkashi statement which has also come out. Let me read it out. Interkashi welcomes the order of the AIFF Appeals Committee following a protracted process which should have been wrapped up before 6th of April. That was the last match day. The conclusion of the hearing and with it, the exhaustion of all internal dispute resolution processes enables Interkashi to approach the Court of Arbitration for Sports for a truly free and fair hearing of the matter. From the very beginning, Interkashi has been clear that the case involves a simple interpretation of rules and regulations based on some undisputed facts. Interkashi will keep no stone unturned to secure justice, and any celebration in the interim may ultimately prove to be premature in nature. Good statement, I would say, from Interkashi. Let's see. And but doesn't the appeals committee consist of respectable judges? How they can go against the law? Sterling, the Supreme Court is dealing in matters of the AIFF constitution, What are we talking about? With all due respect, and I've got justices in my family, right? Even at the highest court in India. It's not a matter for them to discuss. And the appeals committee hearing the appeal of an appeal, what are we talking about? I can only go into sarcasm. Change every player in national team, something wrong is there. They already hit rock bottom. What worse can happen? I don't think here is issue is skill. There is something off here. Prabal, the next generation is even worse. I've been saying this for a while. People don't want to listen, right? Take off the current national team. Take out the seniors. Bring in younger players. We're most probably going to lose to most countries in the world. And just see the results of the under-17s, under-20s in the last 4 or 5 years. You see a trend. So I'm new to in Indian football. Please explain what CAS will give decision in this matter. Gulzari, CAS, Court of Arbitration of Sports in Lausanne in Switzerland, is the highest court in sports. It's the highest, it's the global court in sports, right? And they, so yeah. So this is the reality, right? This goes to CAS. Simple things, and I think FIFA will step in. Let's see. What an insane game Man United versus Lyon was. Beautiful of UCL Knights, Casemiro difference maker of Man U, in my opinion. It wasn't UCL, it was ECL. Yeah, but yeah, just insane. No, that's the thing, Sterling. They don't respect the law because it's a FIFA law. Aditya, you're right. That's the problem. Why is Delhi High Court involved in all these matters? What is their jurisdiction? My simple point is, the courts don't seem to know that they're not supposed to listen to those matters. And the lawyers looking into the matters have not actually raised these topics, right? So we are in a weird situation where I say, oh, right? What is the news? Utsav, AIFF has come out with a judgment which supports the Namdhari appeal, and yeah, let's see what happens. I cannot believe Job will get us banned before leaving. Please do something on Vyako. Aditya, I will not myself this time immerse myself into this mess because I tried 3 years ago. I was abused by a former election commissioner of India, right? Who said, who am I to tell him what is right, what is wrong, right? Who thought he knew. We had a former Supreme Court judge who thought who knew. He had Mr. Bajaj in the room who thought we knew. I was the only one who said we're going to get banned. And we got banned, right? And to me, it is very, very simple. There's truth and sticking to the facts. We've left the space of reality and facts. There's being cheated. This is cheating in Takashi. We've had this in the Anwar Ali case, where it's a open, close, shut case. We still don't know what the PSC is doing. We've had rightly issued cards turned around. And we have all over the place people involved who I think, no, Indian football, this is not working. Are you in favor of expanding World Cup to even more than 48 countries? 64 is being discussed a few months ago. 48 is enough, in my opinion. Ishan, let's play a 48 World Cup first. 64, I don't know. One day you'll say, okay, listen, let's play 211, right? 48 is, I think, at the moment. Let next year happen. Where I'm also interested to see what FIFA is going to do with this whole mess with the United States. FIFA itself has a huge problem on its hand. If Donald Trump continues what he's doing, I don't know if the World Cup next year can take place in the USA, right? I'm just putting out something tonight. Let's maybe speak about it if it happens next year. X is on a meltdown. The general football fans have stormed with tweets. This is a horrible situation. Oh, here we go. A tweet from Ranjit saying justice is served. Aditya, injustice. I've just tweeted injustice, and nothing else will be said from my side to that, because that is something that anybody who understands football, anybody who understands the football a little, will say the league has been rigged. We've been talking about match fixing in the I-League now for years, right? This league, this outcome today proves that the I-League is rigged. This season's I-League has been rigged by the AIFF and by certain elements in the AIFF, in the I-League. This is how far we come, right? And if you ask me today, if I would be Reliance and I would look at all of this, you know what? I would say, my contract's running out. Let's get out of this, right? If you are in the situation of Reliance, would you trust the AIFF and work together with the AIFF? No. So this day, April 19th, could be the final nail in the coffin of the ISL and of the future of Indian football. Thank you very much, AIFF and Appeals Committee, Disciplinary Committee, and all those people who are involved. You have achieved it. You have formally killed Indian football, right? Inter-Cash will go to CAS. Subhash, that's what they've said in their statement. And I know that they've been saying it. So if CAS overturn this judgment, how it's going to get us back? Utsav, the CAS judgment will not overturn if CAS overturns the judgment, that has nothing to do with the ban of AIFF for Indian football. But a case going to CAS will put the spotlight on Indian football. The reality is FIFA and AFC have lost trust in Indian football. They have been supporting Indian football as any other nation, right? So in the past, and I go back to 2007, South Africa. I happened to be there, Johannesburg. The then FIFA president Sepp Blatter talks. First time mentioned, Indian football is the sleeping giant of world football. And he was showing it. And I was like, need to get up, Indian football. And he was showing, I remember I was sitting there. Henry Menezes was sitting next to me. Some other people were sitting over there. I said, India's here. They will not make it to South Africa, but India's here. Take notice of Indian football. He enabled the ISL to happen. He gave us the Under-17 World Cup. Gianni Infantino gave us another Under-17 World Cup. They gave us a lot of support over the years. You know? So, yeah. Prabal says Indian football should be banned for 5 years. The system is rotten to core. It can't be repaired. Only destruction can bring new life. The old system can't let anyone thrive, just like a rotten tree. Yeah. 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 4 or 5 years will not do. To me, I think what will do, I think, yeah, live bans is the only thing that do that. These people are thrown out of football. Dark day, it's a pitch dark day. Or in the, yeah, it's been dark, right? It's like we are in a Scandinavian Games of Thrones winter, and, not winter's coming, winter's here, and winter is staying, Yeah, blue, yeah. And blue, you're right. Yeah. I think today is the day that we need to, open the coffin, put Indian football in the coffin, and shut the coffin. It is unbelievable, to say the least. I feel that we are in a situation that we are in. I don't know where, how to describe this, As much as I can get from the statement, yeah, they're not staying silent. They're going to, Aditya, they're going to cast 100%. They're 100% going to cast. And they had the cast lawyer also, in the appeals committee. They had an European lawyer in that, fighting that case. So this shows you the incompetence, right, that is sitting there. So will Kashi fight the case in case against the AIFF? Yes, certainly 100%. That's the statement, right? I'll just read you the 2-3 statements that have come out. 1 second. Let me just read this. So the AIFF statement reads, as per the order received from the AIFF Appeals Committee on Saturday, April 19, 2025, on the appeal by Namdhari Football Club regarding match number 45 of I-League 2024-2025. Churchill Brothers FC Goa, who have the highest number of points in the league, are now champions, right? And this is interesting because I would like to see the whole order. What is the reasoning given, right? But that is not done. So this is how the AIFF works these days. In the past, they would have actually put out a little bit more this and then put out a little bit more, because then for everybody to understand, where do we stand on this? And Inter Kashi has come out with their statement. Inter Kashi welcomes the order of the AIFF Appeals Committee following a protracted process which should have been wrapped up before 6th of April. The conclusion of the hearing, and with it the exhaustion of all internal dispute resolution processes, enables Inter Kashi to approach the Court of Arbitration for Sport, in brackets CAS, for a truly free and fair hearing of the matter. And that is, I think, that last part is, I think, the most important. For a truly free and fair hearing of the matter. So that is already an implication against the AIFF. and the appeals committee and the disciplinary committee. From the very beginning, Inter-Kashi has been clear that the case involves a simple interpretation of rules and regulations based on the same undisputed facts. What I've been saying. Inter-Kashi will keep no stone unturned to secure justice, and any celebration of the interim may ultimately prove to be premature in nature. Very, very good statement. Whoever has drafted it for Inter-Kashi, yeah. So after Indian football comes to an end or we get a FIFA ban and Scandi do these shows, we can still discuss European football. Ishan, you know what? For me, the timing is perfect. I'm going to do more and more handball. Am I going to do this? I don't know. I've tried my little bits over the last 27 years to try and help improve Indian football. But again, people don't want to listen to truths or what the reality is, what the facts are. Facts are not the facts in Indian football, right? That is, I think, my opinion, has been the biggest problem, right? Different fans will say different things according to, what suits them. And, so, yeah. Churchill was a very commendable squad once. I still remember, especially with Odafa Okoli up front. He was such a physical and skillful striker with exceptional finishing abilities. Yes, Pujan, they had, right? And they won the I-League in those days. And good to see you, Abhijit. Heard from a journalist, Churchill Brothers will be champion was decided before the hearing. Blue, if the president of the AIFF congratulates Churchill Brothers in an executive committee meeting, where are we, right? Imagine monkey laying guidelines on how a bird should fly. That's how the judges at Indian courts at times. Oh, that's, yeah. Kashi versus Churchill verdict is Namdari get the points back. So at the moment, Churchill Brothers are champions. Marcus' new tweet, Inter-Kashi will approach the court of arbitration to totally free and fair hearing of the matter. The club will keep no stone unturned to secure justice. Yeah, I mean, that's Vignesh. That's what I just read. What will happen? CAS will hear the case. CAS will hear the case. And then, again, like the PSC with Anwar Ali, that's why I still don't know why Mohun Bagan Super Giant have not gone to CAS. These are very, very clear cases, right? So how long will it take to get CAS judgment? Will there be any trophy lifting? And what if the next season already starts and judgment comes in? Utsav, CAS can put in an interim order, for example, so that Churchill is not named as the champions of the I-League. That's one. And as I say, the Reliance angle is going to be very interesting now. Coach should just refrain on direct all such things to bodies that deal in that field. Prithviraj, very well, but we don't have that, right? The sports code in itself that the government of India has been trying to install, the old government and the new government over the last, 13, 14, 15 years, that in itself is a violation because it gives the government a chance to influence the sporting bodies. Cases like this, if you have a problem, you should have a sports code, right? What happened in Spain in regarding their president kissing the player after the World Cup final? It was put forward to the sports court in Spain, and they decided that the gentleman has to be removed by the Spanish Federation and gets a ban and gets a fine. It's simple. But you need judges who understand sport. And we don't have that in an Indian system. Sorry to say that. Right? Inter-Kashi versus Churchill was verdict to be given, right? Even if the verdict goes to Kashi, they will be decided only after High Court's verdict, right? The High Court has nothing to say. It is not a matter of the High Court. Inter-Kashi can go to CAS because in CAS, it's you're standing millimeters in front of the goal and you just have to score. Right? So therefore, these inner Indian and this is one thing these guys have never understood because they live in their own little world, in their own little fiefdom, right? These people don't care. Don't never tell me again that these people care about Indian football. They care about themselves, and they have been destroying Indian football systematically. Right? I've been saying that, and I will continue to say that. We are in a very, very dark place that Indian football is not moving in the right direction, has not been moving in the direction for a certain period of time. And, and this is where we are. Bagan has announced the under-20 squad. Almost half of the 35 players are from classic academic, and they suppress the qualifiers with no friendly. I've never heard our under-20 playing friendly. Punjab, we're not under-20, first of all, under-19s, playing the SAF, and I don't know if they're going to be playing any friend. I think they'll be playing some friendlies locally, but I don't see them playing any friendlies per se, right? Right, over half an hour already on this Saturday evening after this ruling has come out. If you like the conversation, if you want people to join in, I think today is the day. Ask other people to join in who want to know what the reality of Indian football is. Ask them to join in. Like and share, as I say. 6 likes only. I think we can do better. And as I say, also closing in on the 2,500 mark. Yeah, help this channel grow, because we need more people who are truthful, right? And otherwise, yeah. Manpower dominates Indian football. I think it's the biggest thing I can learn from Indian football, if you call it bad influence, but I think I must know how to approach the football business. I think their money doesn't. I think that's the biggest mistake. Relationships and influence do. It's not about money, right? So therefore, yeah. What about the bank guarantee? If they fail, will ISIS select the second best team? Utsav, in theory, yes. And that then would be Interkashi, right? So therefore, let's see. Anwar Ali case taken more than a season. Why won't this case take the same? Sterling, this has gone to a different level. This has gone now, this goes global. And if it goes to CAS, all these guys, they can manipulate the system here. They will not be able to manipulate CAS, because those guys make a judgment according to the rules and regulations of the sport. Right? In India, they're getting away with murder. These people would get away with murder, right? That's what's happening. In all the mess in I-Leagues, what's the latest situation? Abhijit, this is the situation. AIFF, Reliance, no talks, right? Create a new committee, but no talks. I-League, from the start of the season, has been a mess. And now, we'll see what happens. Come on, Ananda, then you're arguing with me saying that football matches cannot be rigged. Aditya, the matches are not being rigged. This is being rigged afterwards. It's not been rigged on the field. Has rigging happened? Yeah, it's happened in some parts of the world. But this is not rigging on the field. You're rigging it off the field. And I always say, if you want to rig matches on the field and you want to prove, again, with all allegations that can be made, you have to prove the allegations, right? And in this case, as with the PSC case, we know that the right decision hasn't been taken. I know that. I know enough of football governance to be able to say that, right? So what are we talking about? No hope in Indian football. Do you think passion for European football will keep the interest of football alive in this country? Aniruddha, the other thing that I've learned over the years that the fan base for European football is much smaller than it's perceived to be. That's another thing. That's another reality. Despite all its problems, all its issues, Indian football is actually bigger than the passion for European football. Right? And where has this European football passion taken us? Even the Europeans don't take us seriously. Right? We're the biggest market where they don't do friendly matches. So, yeah. I have a nice radical idea, kick AIFF out, and FSS should conduct a private league by themselves. Aditya, that doesn't happen, right? The AIFF has to be involved, and theoretically, the ISL is a private league. The Premier League is a private league. The Bundesliga is a private league. La Liga is a private league. MLS is a private league. All these leagues are private. But they are governed by the rules and regulations of football under FIFA, under the continental body, and the National Federation. Hi, Zoravar. Don't you think we need a FIFA ban? Except there's no other way to get these bozos out of office otherwise. Yes, Sterling, I think so. I think India needs a normalization committee. And the normalization committee needs to have the right people. Without the right leadership, this is going to get worse and worse. How much time does a case take? Blue, it depends on the case and the number of hearings. We've seen now also with the appeals committee that Churchill has been trying to delay stuff. So therefore, yeah, normally 4 to 6 weeks would be an ideal thing, but can take up to 3 months. But this is something which needs a quick decision. So I think they could fast track it, and I don't know. Why Reliance will not want to work with the AIFF? They are basically beggars in front of Reliance. Abhijit, would you, if you have tried for 15 years to grow the game, and you've done your own mistakes, no doubt about it, but your partner, who was until 2.5 years ago, or with all problems, actually a reliable partner, and has gone totally insane in the last 2.5 years, has not even bothered to speak to you, would you do that? I don't think so. Reliance has lost a lot of money. A lot of money. These guys who are now celebrating today, in hundreds of years, will not be able to spend that much of money because they don't have access to that kind of money. So therefore, what are you talking about? Right? We are going to see one of the best promotion games in history. Hooray, it will be telecasted from courts, says Angry Birds. Churchill Birds declared Ali Gunas, the likes of Bajaj are celebrating. Seems like Goa CM congratulations Churchill Brothers was true. So Robert, at the time, when the chief minister congratulated them, they were not I-League champions. When the AIFF president congratulated them, they were not I-League champions. These are all facts which will be used against the AIFF, the appeals committee, the disciplinary committee, Namdhari, Churchill, and the whole lot. Sir, why are you so worried? What if cast judgment goes in favor of Churchill Brothers? We don't know what's going to happen. Utsav, I do know what's going to happen. You know why? Because I know a little bit of football governance. Therefore, if Churchill cannot win the case, ask any caste-based lawyers, no chance. Right? And going to caste doesn't mean judgment will go in their favor. Let's wait and see what. No, it will go in their favor because it's rules. Utsav. This body today has not followed its own rules and regulations. That is the crazy part, right? As I said, put that 4 to 6 weeks. I think they can ask for a fast track, maybe, but I don't know. Indian football is not sleeping; it is sadly brain dead now. Yeah, hope not, but sometimes it does feel that we are in a very weird kind of scenario at this moment in time, where we're not, where even the brain functions are dead when we see all of this. Oh boy, it's going to be a long and deep winter. Yeah, looks like it. Some alternative universe, Brazil is called the India of South America. I love the fact of being Delulu now. Nice one. I want to be honest here and ask you something, Ananda. We once had a convo here and you said, along with my club, I should also care about Indian football. No, there's a 70-30 chance Odisha FC will cease to exist, but do you think I should care about Indian football? Yes. What is Odisha FC without Indian football? This is one thing that I have, my discussion. Sometimes I say to my friends, especially in Kolkata, what are the clubs without, right? Indian football, everything is under Indian football. And if Indian football is in the shape as it is at this moment in time, and as I said, a lot of entities care about themselves. Yeah. Come on, Kashi, kick the guts out of the devil, says Aditya. No one should put money in Indian football. This AIFF isn't trusted at all. Indian football ran through so many years, not at all that good, but now they are discriminating winners. Yeah, Blue, very well said. Indian football was not run perfectly, was not run in a way that it should, right? And but people work to keep it running. Now it's become a free fall, right? Will CAS give ban on AIFF? Zoravar, that's not the issue. CAS is not there to ban AIFF, but with the appeals committee and all that is happening, the matter CAS will surely be informing FIFA about it. I haven't followed this I-League issue in detail, so just wanted to know, should Inter-Kashi be champions? All rules were followed. Candy discussed both the matches. Akashi was the accuser and the accused. Pranjal, yes. Simple answer is yes. Because Namdhari fielded an ineligible player, they're trying to find reason to say, oh, it wasn't our mistake. Listen, it is always your mistake. If you're fielding a player who's ineligible, it's your mistake. And on the other side, they're saying that Marco Barco played, who should not have been allowed to come back and play for Inter-Kashi. Now, nice. But normally, aren't you supposed to raise that matter within a certain stipulated period of time? So, yeah. And knowing how Delhi High Court has been making its judgments, they will most probably make the judgment against Inter-Kashi. So we've got another case against Delhi High Court. Right? Crazy. Out of topic, but more, I think, want to come to a conclusion that it isn't ready for promotion or relegation. I mean, look at Mohun Sporting. Abhijit, that's what I'm saying. Our system, first of all, our football is not sustainable. Our system is not strong enough. And look at, I always say the quality. More than 10 teams in the ISL makes no sense. And I think a closed league is stronger. Build it for a certain period of time and then get the system sorted and then open it up. But we're not there. The steps of the roadmap that we worked on in 16, 17, and 18, right? Most probably the roadmap looks at an ideal case scenario. We've had COVID on top of that. We're not there. Indian club football is not there. If Churchill brothers don't have any bank guarantee, how they play in ISL? They can't. They can work their way through the AIFF, they can work their way through the courts, but they will not be working their way through Reliance. And with the whole Mohun Sporting thing, that doesn't help their case. And also the Hyderabad one earlier on. Keeping aside the verdict of Churchill brothers becoming I-League champions, who should have won the I-League in your opinion? Give me a fair assessment. Shomik very simply said, if I go by the rules, Inter-Kashi. Namdhari made a mistake. You lose your points. Very simple as that. More international embarrassment for Indian football if there was not enough already. Caste matter will not die down easily. Football people notice for sure. I'm not done. I am so done. Ishan, you know what? Again, people looked at Indian football. People have tried doing things in Indian football. People from abroad. A lot of them have given up. Even people who worked with me, fought for the right things, stand for the right things. A lot of people have given up. A lot of people have simply given up. And that is the reality of things, where we stand today. This is where Indian football stands on this evening of April 19th, right? What is CAS? Pranjal, CAS is the Court of Arbitration of Sport in Lausanne, which is the highest court in the world, and they are the final instance of any sporting matter. If CAS favors Interkashi, then will they get promoted or will it be more mess? Hannibal, it will be the final judgment. You can contest it. But yeah. I think it was shame for AIFF, says Shubhashish. I think appeals committee verdict was influenced by AIFF to please their legacy I-League club friends. That's why congratulations from chief of incompetency. Obviously, very well, right? If CAS overturns the decision, which they must likely to do so, can Churchill go to Supreme Court? No. They can. Theoretically, yes, they can. But this is out of the Supreme Court's jurisdiction. Now, if the Supreme Court gets involved in this matter, it's a nice point. Then we're going to get banned for sure. Because I say this again and again and again, as someone who's worked in governance. The law of sports stands above the law of the land. So the Supreme Court is here, CAS is here, right? So if CAS takes a decision, right? I know what will happen. FSA will pull out. There will be no investor. AIFF will make I-League first tier league. They can, but without the help, the financial inputs from Reliance, AIFF will not be in a position to run the I-League, right? So, and also, let's be very, very clear. I know 20 to 25 entities could then pull out of Indian football. A lot of entities just want to pull out because they're losing money. Can you help me in future on that? Like in the things of football business, I really want to get in these. I think I've gotten the biggest lesson in football and how it functions. Yeah, why not? Surely. Should FSL take over I-League and have clubs with financial muscle and have some sort of pseudo-promotion relegation? No. Let them run one tier. The I-League should be I-League should be in the hands of the AIFF. I guess Indian football should get banned now. Yeah, Blue, I think that's the best way. To get rid of this AIFF, it's the best way. If AIFF is kicked out and FSL runs a private league, things will go the Indonesian way, like back in 2013. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. FSL is going to rather walk away than run a private. They've run a private league with the blessing of the AIFF. Right? So, and that's not going to happen. So how's the viewership in Kabaddi, badminton, etc. in India? Not good, from what I know. By the way, why certain owner of I-League 2 team is celebrating Churchill win the I-League? Because he is the mastermind. He's trying to get away, no? He's trying to avoid relegation as well. Right? That's the other story in this. And Utsa said, if you can't win, celebrate on MA's loss. It seems like Profute was much better than Kalyan Chaubey. Yeah, 100%. That is a fact. That's the reality of things, right? Praful Patel knew when to get involved, when to do things. Could he done more? Yes, I think he could have done more. But he ensured that the system kept running. When he had problems, yeah, he brought in money and other things. Yeah. Right, more than 50 minutes. Once more, the reminder, if you haven't, do leave a like behind, and 10 likes so far. I think we can do better, guys. And yeah, do subscribe to the channel as well. Let's grow the community, and yeah, let's keep these conversations happening, right? Bajaj Destroyer are going to be very good plot for South Indian villain role. Yeah, Angry Birds. I think I-League should be managed by FSTL. Subhash, they're not going to do it. They don't bother about the I-League. Kashi also did what Namdhari did? No, they didn't. That's the difference. Which political party has more control over AIFF? The president job is from BJP and Vice President Harris is from Congress. How they both coexist? Sandeep, because the political parties don't care about the AIFF that much. This is something which people always want to interpret. If the BJP really cared about the AIFF, they would have removed Kalyan Chaubey. They would have removed him from the IOA as well, but they haven't, right? So therefore, for me, this is in sporting bodies. You've even had it in the BCCI in the past, where people who were on opposite sides of politics were actually together in the running of the sporting federations. Imagine Supreme Court gets involved, full Khichdi, full Kalesh. Yeah, possible. Super League Kerala already in shambles, according to reports. 2 franchises have already shut shop and one struggling to pay salaries. Zorawat, didn't I say this months ago that the Super League Kerala is a failed entity? These kind of commercial projects will not work because the money calculations that people do don't work. This is a simple thing. People put out Excel sheets, create PowerPoint presentations. You have certain people, and these people say, yeah, I'm willing to spend. And then they realize, oh my God, you know what? I'm actually spending money. I'm actually not, I'm not recovering I'm not even, forget making profits. I'm not even recovering my costs. This is the reality, So that's the reality. So that's where we are. And this is a baby of Anukumar Prabhakaran. That's also has to be said, right? So these kind of ideas and all, without big financial backing, you will not be able to do this in an Indian context. That is, to me, very, very clear. Problem is currently AIFF is backed by BJP, Kalinga Super Cup is from BJP. No, it's not backed by BJP. If he was backed by the BJP, the sports ministry would be giving the AIFF much more money. Right? They're not doing that. They don't care about football. They care about cricket. HM and his son control BCCI, and now the ICC. What do they want? They don't care about football or any other sport. Right? Ranavada bhalo to after so long. Yes, Shobik, good to see you. Yes, I'm doing fine. Chanmari FC got promoted. Guess we will see Banger Fest in I-League next season. Pranjal, good to see Chanmari finally getting to the I-League. I've been doing a lot of good work in Aizawl, Mizoram. Yeah, so let's see what they can do. Angry Bird says, Arunda, IFA ki epor bar eshe boke dio. It's a city-based football tournament. Thori kora parena ki falte organization. Listen, to me, I in private tell these people what I think is right and what is wrong. In private, I don't need to. I don't need to. Angry Bird says I should scold them. No, I don't. I will not scold them. I will tell them what I feel is right, what's wrong. They have to decide. I'm not in a deciding position. The IFA, the Kolkata clubs, Kolkata Maidan, live in their own world. The success of Mohun Bagan Super Giant is the success of Mr. Sanjeev Goenka and his team. It's not the success of Mohun Bagan Athletic Club. I know. So, yeah, that's the reality. But nobody wants to hear it if you tell it to Bagan fans. Are East Bengal fans asking questions about their management? Yeah, some do. A lot don't. Right? So these are realities. You were right about Super League Kerala as well. Nostra Nova. Thanks, Ishan. Yeah, I mean, it was, and linked to that, Shubha says, why is SLK bad product having good attendance and good broadcasting? Because the broadcaster doesn't want to show it. Your numbers were bad and your financials don't work out. It doesn't matter. You could have 100,000 people turning up. 100,000 for every match of such a league. But if your financial numbers don't add up, this is the other thing what I say, which fans don't want to listen to. Indian football fans are not worth as much as financially as a fan in Europe or in South America or even in Southeast Asia. That's another problem, right? For a sporting entity anywhere in the world, the fan is not there to support the team. Sorry, I'm also going to break that myth. You know, the the fan is there to generate revenue for the club or franchise. The positive support, the positive atmosphere is a bonus, if you like it or not. But hey, who's going to talk about it? Best league in my Bihar Football League, does it exist? Does it not? I don't know. So I cannot be disappointed. A league in Bihar exists, yeah, as Ashua says. So every state has some sort of league, right? But not these so-called super leagues. I hope cast judgment comes before September. Let's see. Let's see. What's up? Zorawa says BNGP being led by Gujarat is expected to only support sport where there is money. That's the typical Gujarati mentality. What's bad is that Gujaratis are proud of it. Hard-hitting one, but Zorawa, very, very right. Very, very right. Sums up the issues and the problems in the system. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens, right? I've come to the conclusion that all the constitution nonsense, high salaries to Indian low quality players, all are beating around the bushes. Indian football needs money plus expertise equal to quality. Yeah. What do I say, Abhijit? What does Indian football need? The right leader, knowledge and expertise, pragmatic plans which can be implemented, the will, the desire of the whole structure of all the stakeholders to work together, and then believing in giving the whole thing some time. Very simple. And if you have money on top of it, then it works. So that's the reality. Or in either of the clubs, Namdari, FC and Inter Kashi were at fault in some way or the other. Doesn't it complicate the issue? Did Kashi also feel they play against the perimeter? No, they didn't. We're talking about yellow cards. And I've explained this or suspensions. I, in my teams, always said, keep an Excel sheet. And after every match day, put on the cards. Don't bother about the CRS system of the AIFF. Simple. Right? I go back 2014. I've said this story now multiple times. I repeat it again. Nicholas Anelka had it sanctioned from the Premier League. 5-match suspension at West Brom. 2 he served in England. 3 had to serve at Mumbai City. Even though I got a letter from the AIFF which cleared Nico to play against Atletico de Kolkata. But we followed the rules. We could have most probably gotten away with it, but we followed the rules. So I can always say that from a moral standpoint, from a ethics standpoint, I can hold my head high. All these people, all these thieves and liars harm Indian football. That's the reality. Majority of the fans are free ticket merchants. Yeah, Zorawa. Free ticket merchants want to buy merchandise of the club for cheap money. Yeah, not going to work. SLK is a 1-year league. Fans is a longer process. you don't expect a fan to bring financials in a single, even if Mohun don't generate much revenue to the club. Nadeem, you're right. But the guys who are setting up the leagues think otherwise. They think that a fan is, let's say, worth, I don't know, 5,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees a head. That's how they calculate stuff. You'll think these people are insane. And East Bengal, Mohun Bagan are a prime example. Mohun Sporting you can add to the mix. They don't make anything of the so-called size that these clubs have. Look at how a Boca Juniors or a River Plate, do that. Forget Europe. How a Santos, how a Botafogo, a Flamengo, a Cruzeiro, all these clubs do that. Indian clubs will do it. Hi, Dark Knight. Is AIFF using banned substance? How can they give such decision? Yeah, most probably doping in the AIFF system. What would you think will be the decision of Interkashi case at CAS? Ashu, Interkashi gets the 3 points. Very simple. The case is, start, shut, done. I mean, not even worth a conversation. That's the crazy part with the Interkashi case from a FIFA from a FIFA regulations legislation perspectives. In IPL, they charge 1,500 plus for even basic seat ticket nowadays. Forget VIPs to a stadium or filling. Yeah. Great, Bihar League exists now. I'm sad, says Pranjal. Pranjal are coming new videos. Vignesh, let him do as many videos. I would always ask him, what have you done for Indian football? Don't tell me you've done something for Indian football. This is the biggest lie that this gentleman has been doing for the last years. You've overaged players. You've now been involved in all of these cases where you've harmed it. You are the single person who's at fault for India's ban in 2022. Right? And your friends. So, wow, thank you. Because you don't understand football. You don't understand how football runs. Right? You cheat. Period. Good evening, sir. Black day for Indian football. Yes. But who's going to discuss it? Right? Right? So this is the reality. So, yeah. How much money wasted on judiciary in Indian football if AIFF had a foolproof system had denied illegal suspended player from playing, then a lot of money, time, controversy saved. 100%. Right? 100%. IPL tickets are only sold in Mumbai, Bangalore, Chennai, Rajasthan, and Punjab. Who says that? I know that in Kolkata they're being sold. AIFF overturned its own committee decision. No, not the AIFF. The appeal overturned its own decision, right? Excel sheet is an old idea. Do we keep Excel sheet of our bank transaction? Don't we trust the bank system and records those transactions? Nadeem, if you're talking about that, what goes in and goes out, I actually have Excel sheets for that. Because I need it for my taxes as well, right? There are online systems, but I actually have classic offline Excel sheets. Online, things might be wiped off. But if you have an offline system, right, it works. Even if we change 100 constitutions, people going to be the same people are causing problems, not rules. They're not even alive. Abhijit, that's a very important point. So therefore, a lot of these people need to go. Right? If we think ex-players are the only one who's going to fix Indian football, there's always Bulgaria. Okay. Our grandparents note on every transaction of new generation. Nadeem, at least the entities that I know of, they do. And in a sports entity, you have to note down everything. I don't know why Ranji was celebrating Churchill Brothers winning league. Does he have any other interest there? Ashu, he's hoping that he's going to stay in somehow. No? They're now trying to hit Interkashi with other allegations and all that stuff. The fact is, football is a sport that Indians can't connect with unless there's a drastic increase in quality of domestic football. We will never find it appealing, especially when they can save. The money to attend an IPL match is too expensive, but the quality is world class. Yeah, sadly, yeah. Your reaction, Krishnajit, the 39 probable squad for Asian Cup qualifiers for when all big names are in. I believe Sanjana defenders missing. Talk about a women's team. I feel some of the bigger ones are also missing. No, I saw some of the names were missing. But overall, expected lines, one player from IWL2. Yeah. Despite having close leagues, US and Australia are able to produce world-class football. Yeah, not only USA, Australia, but now Canada as well. So yeah, it works. Sorry, why is Boca Juniors named Juniors? Pranjal, I honestly don't know. And Interkashi is approaching CAS. According to you, what will be your prediction? CAS will decide in favor of Interkashi. Yeah. So Churchill Brothers are champions, but no ISL as of now. Even no broadcasters. When will the dark days stop? Woman, as long, you know, yeah. If A-League organizers are thinking the league is going bankrupt, what should AIFF still think about ISL? Most probably shut it down. I think that's the best thing. Even in the Vinit Bogart case, cast didn't crumble under pressure, followed the rules and regulations, no favors, etc. Yeah, that's Ishan, very good example, because the IOA was playing around with that and was hoping, that they would get some favors and the decision would be in their favor, and it's not taken us anywhere, right? So very, very tough situation that we find ourselves in, right? Right, over an hour already, 29 people watching tonight. So do leave a like behind, do share, subscribe as well. Let's keep on growing. 12 likes so far, closing in slowly on the 2,500 mark. So do help me reach that level. Thanks for that. And let's see what can be salvaged. Let's put it this way nicely. Let's see where it goes. If CAF gives decision in favor of Interkashi, will other clubs take case to High Supreme Court? In constant, some people don't think rules and normal procedure does not apply to them and go to courts. Actually, they can, but if the Supreme Court gets involved in a CAS case, then Indian football will get banned. Very simple. Last Sunday, I traveled outside the Delhi Stadium during IPL. People coming out in large numbers after first innings when asking 100% got complimentary tickets from IPL and team sponsors. I didn't take ticket because of the money. See, Nadeem, yeah, that happens. But if you're getting from team sponsors, that means that is, tickets which are already paid for in some form of way. FIFA ban international window time now. Seems like the case will go for long. I think we are in danger of missing out the June qualifiers for the men's and the women's. That's a real danger. This isn't back there. I saw the Mauritius match. The Mauritius match was nothing, Pranjal. Yeah, but on field, you have, good days, bad days, but this is something which doesn't work. This year, less tickets have been sold out in Kolkata, but they still make profits. Subash, because they have TV rights. Huh? TV rights is what makes the money. Second, explain what happened between Namdar and Interkashi where all this and final were champions. Mohammed very simply said Namdar he fielded an ineligible player, and the player should have not been fielded. So therefore, normal ruling. The points and 3-0 goals are given to Interkashi. That's been, and and that has been overturned, and that's why Churchill has now more points, and therefore they've been declared champions. The closely structure in the US and Australia is often due to factors like geographic dispersion and the desire to maintain the competitive balance and financial stability of the league. Yeah, Sandeep. And that's what I think the ISL also wanted to do, and that has been shaken in the last few years. If AIFF seen Takashi going to CAS, can they do something like change their decision again or convince Joshua to let Kashi go to ISL as Joshua can't afford it anyways and Takashi only about that? No. Interkashi is going to CAS. So the AIFF has lost its chance today to sort it out. Renal says Bajaj has been boasting about his players. What did we achieve? Struggling. I think he should be banned from Indian scene. He is much worse villain than Kalyan Chaubey. Yeah, agree. Couldn't agree more, sadly. Who told a friend of mine who lives in Kolkata that they had to pay 3,000 for just general ticket? In fact, Kolkata has increased ticket prices. Kolkata has dramatically increased ticket prices in the IPL. Yeah, KKR. Is there a bitterness between I-League and ISL club? Earlier, I have sympathy towards I-League clubs. The old I-League clubs seem to fight for themselves. Yeah, let's see. How can ISL make profits? Shuash, people need to start watching. And if they start watching, then we've got television rights to sell. And that's the only way that we're going to be able to generate revenues for the ISL to be profitable in the long run, right? So that's the situation as it stands. Not only Bajaj, but many for Azot celebrating as they are bootlicking Bajaj for Anwar. No, very, very true. Very, very sad. Ranjibara took on Neetu Sarkar in East Bengal 2019, fixing allegations. Sukhdev Singh transfer ban on East Bengal. He was favourite of Mohun supporters. Now it's flipped against Mohun Bagan and Takashi in Anwar transfer. Intercash has nothing to do with the in that transfer. What do you think FSA people are feeling tonight? One more team with no finance. Shut it down. Leave Indian football. If I was honestly, with all love that I have for Indian football, if I was with FSL or Reliance in a higher position, after all that has happened in the last few weeks, I would advise my top board management at Reliance to say, thank you very much. Let's leave Indian football. That if honestly, from a forget, my feelings for Indian football, my passion for Indian football, but if you ask me from a management perspective, now he's Darling is an enemy of Mohun Bagan fans. Yeah. But credit to him for taking a small maneuver to AFC Champions League qualifiers and also selling it to a good group of round grass who are doing good. Yeah, but that it's also a scam, no? That selling part. I don't know about Delhi, but in Kolkata, people are paying even 6 or 12 lakhs for IPL matches. Yeah. It took Delhi FC from State League to Nadeem. That's all possible. Without much money spending, all of it is possible. People paying for IPL for entertainment, where fans are less passionate, are less. It's like a prestige, and for status, I watched IPL match and flexing. Okay. And in Chennai, it's even higher IPL last season. Ticket prices are crazy compared to other sports. Yeah. If these people experience football, they will feel football in stadium is much, much better experience. Yeah, but experience in the stadium is better, but the sporting quality, right? And that is something, at least in the IPL, you're seeing the best in the world. Yeah. But do you think you should have complained earlier? Argument by Kashi, actually a fair argument in court. Panchal, Kashi has followed the process. What should have they have done? Right? And now it seems like a FIFA ban is unavoidable. Recently, did you hear that Supreme Court formed committee to oversee the operation of sports federation, starting with Kawad? They say bodies do everything but develop. See, the point is here with the Supreme Court that someone needs to go and tell them what their jurisdiction is. And that is something which has not been done. And therefore, we are in the mess we are in, right? So it's gotten bad. It's gotten worse. And it's what to say. Out of topic, recently, Nico Langa was on visit to India as EU and India tried to improve relations. He did a show on print about Ukraine war is really input all nonsense society in a polite way. Okay. It was that to listen to him. Is that really common in Germany? I don't know the gentleman you're talking about. But yeah, that behavior can be said normal for Germans. Churchill Brothers, Tempo Sports Club, Lajong FC, Asa FC, old clubs, rest are younger than ISA clubs. Yeah, that's also true, Nadeem. Ralin Zwala to Northeast United FC, your view. Bhaskar, looks like it's done. It's not signed yet, supposedly, I've been told, but it's on the way to be done. Wise move for him, because I feel he needs to go to a club where he plays. And, so therefore, I hope he gets game time. But he comes into a team with a lot of good attacking players, especially the foreigners. And on the other side, we have Parthiv Gogoi, the young toy, Jitin, the others as well. So therefore, will be interesting to see. I watched Super League Kerala and I-League from Kozhikode Stadium. The quality of SK on ground is very poor, with hardy teams completing 5 continuous passes. But I-League is much more fast-paced and good to watch. Yeah, but glamour, publicity brings people to stadium. Yeah, that's true. If AIFF and FSL come to a deal, can big corporate houses, clubs in football crazy regions and rich cities, and have a closed league with pseudo-promotion relegation built as a system? Abhijit, why do we have to create something? I'm not understanding why you're saying that we need to create something new. We have the ISL. Yeah. Why do we need something new? We just need the AIFF and FSDL to renew the contract. FSDL has put down its rules and regulations, what they think of what they want to do and how they want to do it. They want to focus on the ISL, maybe a little bit on the national team. And that's the reality. Nothing more, nothing less. So everything else doesn't need to be discussed. Supreme Court thinks they run the country honestly on our vote. Even if OCIP is passed in Parliament, Supreme Court now thinks they have the power to overturn state decision. XYZ, yeah, but there are certain things that I think they need to get involved in. Therefore, they are there. But in this case, I don't know. Edmund also needs to move to Hyderabad or Punjab. Why? Will he are you sure that he would get more time in those two teams? I don't think so. What will happen to long contract if AIFF still closes the ISL? They're a null and void. All the player, if the league shuts down, the player contracts are null and void. Very simple. Will Zola get any chance with Ajare in hardly 5-6 appearances? He's a central striker. So for me, again, as I said, forget the foreigners, even the Indians are a competition. Indian football needs to be banned ASAP, says Ravar. Zola always had talent, so I'm playing capable with Gokum Kerala FC reserves. Spent 3 years but couldn't make it to main squad due to foreign strikers. Yeah. Right. No. So why should Zoravar get lost? Zoravar is talking facts. I think we need a strict ban. Right. Same with Vidyasagar. They all have played, right? Vidyasagar, yeah. But watch the video of Bundesliga referee point of view. Video, it's a good gauge of intensity. Game is a lot faster than what appears from TV. Ishan, I always say is that watching on television and watching games live is, two things. For me, also, again, yes, I will most probably be biased. I would always prefer watching German football than watching football elsewhere. Right? But that's the reality of how football feels. Yeah. And it is much better than it is, yeah. As per Kiel now, Namdari were not given enough time to confirm the reason as to why they feel they're an eligible player. This is the logic I'm telling you. What's the if a player is ineligible, if the player is ineligible, right? Hope the ban comes soon. Can't see them get humiliated by Bangladesh in December. November, not December. So I've seen many Mizo players who play good in Aizawl, and when they join other clubs in I-League, they don't perform same. Yeah. I-League, ISL, same problem. A lot of Mizo players in their own surroundings are really good, but when they have to move out, they struggle. That's the reality. So, yeah. So now Lanzola has proved himself to you. Now, no. How has he proven himself to me? Has he played one ISL match so far? And even David, good example. David has not proven himself. He scored goals, yeah, but is he good enough for a national team player? No way. Why CAS can't decide the Ali case still now? And is it possible to give a verdict on Ali champions soon? Angry Birds, Mohun Bagan would have to go to CAS. Mohun Bagan has not gone to CAS, right? So that's the thing, right? XYZ said we deserve a ban. Ajay is a left-wing playmaker. Lal is not going to have a problem with that. Angry Birds, but there's a central foreign striker in there, right? A Nesta or a, yeah. If FSL pulls, I think it's the end. People who became followers of football will shut down completely. So we are going to be in the loop forever. That's a danger. That is a real danger that Renal mentions, right? There's a lot of fans who've come to Indian football over the last 10, 11 years. Why would they remain in Indian football? It's a problem on a different level, right? To be honest, Mohammed don't need to create much fuss, as Anwar turned out to be a disaster signing for East Bengal till now, multiple injuries, plus he's degraded a lot in last year. So Ravar, yeah, but it's still wrong, right? And other clubs could, with all that is happening, and all the wrongs that have happened, Mohun Bagan should have made an example of this. And this is, from my point of view, a weakness of the Mohun Bagan management. The issue with Indian football is other teams around us improving at rapid pace, youngsters getting game time and exposure, good coaches. Previously, it was not present. Look at our youth development. Yeah, probably. So that's the problem at an international level. Arun sir, can you please explain from the start the Inter-Kashi versus Namdar FC matter and what is the grounds of decision by AIFF Appeals Committee today? Nilaksh, the Appeals Committee has no ground for its decision. So that's the first thing. Namdari fielded a player who was on 4 yellow cards. That means the player is not eligible to play. Simple, right? Now, Namdari says the system didn't show that he was ineligible to play, and I say the job is on the club. Yeah. And therefore, it's an open, closed, shut case. Reason why Mohun may not be keen to go to CAS is Anwar is destroying East Bengal. That has nothing to do with this. There are other reasons for that. I don't think Lanzola will get the appearances as I think he will be bench hopping. Yeah. David Verma only scored 3-4 goals in I-League for one Sporting. There were other Indians who scored more, but David can be a super sub. Yeah, but not in the international colours. Mohun Bagan saved Cross, and now they can hope penalty in Cross from East Bengal because of Anwar. They didn't save it. No, if they'd gone to CAS and would have won the case, East Bengal would have to pay for the court costs. Where are they saving money? Uzbekistan looks beast and you seventh in equality as World Cup quarterfinal, semi-final level. Even German, South Korean aren't near. Okay, X, Y, Z. Anyone with a brain will understand that there is not anyone going to put money into the system other than FS. They are the only one capable of just sign the paper contract. Not going to do it, no. No, I mean the other case where Kashi was accused of wrongdoing. You said the accusation came late. Do you think this argument will hold in CAS or any court? See, Pranjal, these people need to go to CAS, and going to CAS is costly. They will never go to CAS. And the allegations of that player, the player was cleared by the AIFF. So, yeah. Lambek will definitely get game time, Northeast United FC. Partip was unable to play striker. Are they more of a left winger like Changte as striker? He was less efficient. Okay. RB has a shady history. In fact, read a news article where it said there are 13 cases pending against him. Yep, that is very, very true. Judge posted, we trust in our Indian lawyers' quality, taking a dig at Intercash employed European lawyer. Yeah, but that European lawyer is now going to take them to the cleaners. Huh? But I feel some setting with him also by an opposing party. Maybe you are on a point, Blue. That case should be done till now. Yeah. Hi, Kumar. Is Intercash? Yes, they have said that they're going to CAS. They've been hinting at it for a while, and now they've actually formally, officially stated that they will be going to CAS in this case. But Mohun Bagan management chose otherwise. Where will be the trophy ceremony now? Meenaksh, I think if Interkashi go to CAS, I guess they will put in the case on Tuesday. I think I wouldn't be celebrating too much. Right? So that's the thing. Maybe Team CS. No, they're not. It has nothing to do with them. No involvement. From at least what I think I know. There are other reasons behind it. Still, some people, idiots, think AIFF can organize ISL. Well, that's another joke in itself. I would say that there are people who think that the AIFF can organize something or the other. Yeah. So what to say? Nothing much to add to this, no? Can Mohun go to CAS when the case is subject to the repeats committee? Nadim, they could have gone earlier, right? So, yeah, but they decided not to do. Is this the worst season in recent times for Bundesliga clubs in Europe? None made to semi-final. Shomo, they also didn't make it in 2021, 2017. It's happened. It happens. Right? There's not making it to semi-finals happens to most leagues once in a while. Will CAS take time to give verdict as they would have hundreds of cases? Nadim, you can fast track things, but I think the first thing that Intercash will try and do is get an injunction in the case. So that would be the first step, I would think, so that the whole process is stopped. And again, it adds another layer of uncertainty because normally you should be working towards trying to fulfill criteria to play ISL. Both the entities know it. And yeah, interesting to see what will be the next steps. But will be interesting to see what happens, right? What happens next. But if the same issue had happened in ISL, also case will be handled with disciplinary and appeals committee? Yes, because the final jurisdiction on these matters are with the AIFF. For example, referees in the ISL come from the AIFF. CAS has the ability to ban Churchill Brothers if do not follow the CAS order. Can FIFA ban the Churchill Brothers or AIFF? FIFA can ban AIFF. So, yeah. Will FSTL pull out? Will they stop all the grassroots work? Could be. I'm not sure to what level Reliance will pull the plug. Given the realities at the moment, they might say, this is not an environment where we would like to be involved in. I mean, see, for example, basketball, they were supposed to do big things. They were talking, doing stuff. The NBA came in, NBA wanted to do stuff, and they pulled out. What do you make of Mohun Bagan sending a mostly young squad of a few senior players for Super Cup? Shomo, right thing. You've won the ISL League Shield, which ensures you ACL2 football. You won the ISL Cup. Now give exposure for the younger players. I think it's Mumbai City did that a few years ago. I think it's the right thing to do. Right? It's been a long season. What about the cases of any clubs on Intercash in Delhi court? Nilaksh, sorry, non-starter. But with the Delhi High Court, of course, it will go against Interkashi. So this is something, yeah. These people have made a mockery of Indian football, right? And better to do it that way than anywhere else. Right? That's the sad part. The AIFF most likely will not sign the paper with FSL, as is also against FSL. Could be. But if the people running at the AIFF at the moment have any understanding, they'll try and work out something with Reliance. If FSL pulls out, will you stop supporting footy here? No, I won't start supporting it. I don't know how much of an involvement I want to have, right? So for me to be involved and do things, yeah, I've tried my bit, right? I've tried my bit. I've tried to help in whatever way I could, and but again, we are where we are at this moment, and yeah. Grassroots is CSR of Reliance Foundation. I think they will continue. Nadeem, they could pull the plug. They did that with basketball as well. Do you think if Shananda Thor, Praful Patel was there, these things would happen? No chance. No chance. Sunanda would have sorted things in the A-League. If he wouldn't, Kushal would have stepped in, Kushal Das. And if Kushal would not have stepped in, then PP would have stepped in. So this whole situation, this whole whatever would have not happened. But yeah, we are where we are. So very simple. AIFF has made a mess. What went wrong? Nilaksh, what went right? Right. I think the people who came in after the FIFA ban, that's been the problem. You need experience in governance. You need experience in running such a body. Otherwise, you cannot do this. And stakeholders have misused that. We've gone a long, long way back in the last 2.5 years. A long, long way. Soon in football, we will like Pakistan football, except that Pakistan allowed us for our players. Now if it goes on, we might be even worse than Pakistan. Huh? If a club has a dispute with the governing affair of that country in Europe, where do these clubs go? Courts, CAS. Shoma, normally they have sports courts where you can, or normally you stay inside the sporting system, so you raise it within the system within the federation. If you're not happy with that, then you think of going to CAS. So that's the thing. Sunanda, Praful, and Kushal brought back the relegated Churchill into the A-League. Yeah. So Nadeem, what does it prove? That they, not everything that they did was right. Right? Very simply said. AIFF is bid for AFC Asian Cup. I don't know what they will do. Listen, bidding for it is very easy. Nilaksh, any country can bid. Will you be in that final group? Yeah. So therefore, for me, that's just to gain brownie points here and there. Otherwise, it just doesn't make sense at this moment. The way we're structured, the way we're struggling, and nobody knows why we're suddenly bidding again. Huh? I mean, I've asked some people, and nobody knows why. How? There was no reason to stop relegation of Churchill Brothers. Nadeem, we've had this multiple times. This is not the first time. The last time we've had many years back, Mohun, Bagan, and Churchill Brothers allowed backdoor entry into the NFL, and we've had it a long time. Like we're really in a stage to host Asian Cup, we will be banged 6-0 in group stage front of the fans. Yeah. People consider Bachchan to be a good leader. The thing is, does he have an experience in administrative sector? No. And with all respect for Bhai and all that he's done on the field of football, created the Players Association as well. So FPI, okay, good. Has he ever won a political election? That was my simple question. And that, I think, is then the answer. We need someone with the right connects at the top, and you have to let the right people run in the administration. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And this is so messed up at this stage, so messed up, that there are no simple solutions to sort out Indian football at this moment. It is just, insane to just think about it. Do you think our sporting ecosystem is ready to bidding for Olympics 2036, 2040? We are not even ready financially as a country to invest in hosting Olympics. No, we're not, Shoma. It's an eyewash, right? To me, India needs to invest massively into grassroots sports across the board, and especially via schools. I think schools is one area where we need to integrate sports in a big way. And only then we can talk about Olympics or bigger things, So that's the difficulty we find ourselves in, right? So yeah, those are the challenges. So yeah. Yes, the president will repeat of Kalyan Chaubey, says Ravan. Most probably. Olympics is just election PR. Yeah. As sad as it is, yeah, you're most probably right. And those things are the worrying sign at this moment of where we stand. And the AIFF is not out of it. The whole ecosystem is in a problem. The BJP uses zero development to use these gimmicks to move voters. Yeah. Is the Handball Federation any better than AIFF? Yes. Shoma, I've achieved in the last 6 months, calmly, quietly working with Handball Association of India more than I have in Indian football in 25 years. It will not be easy, I know that. It is India at the end of the day. But if they follow the advice, if they follow the roadmap that we're working on, I think let's see where we can go. I'll be very ambitious, and let's see where we can go with it. Super Cup winner will go in ACL 2 or Challenge League? ACL 2, Nilaksh. FIFA has already increased the World Cup teams to 48 and planning further to increase it even more. No, they're not planning. So, what has happened is there's been a suggestion by CONMEBOL, the South American body, to increase it even more for 2030 because they want to have most of the world part of it. So that's it. And yes, it is going to be a drop in standard. But I think when we see last year's Euros, for example, there was always this discussion: is 24 too many? And if you see the smaller teams like Georgia playing the way they did, it will add some quality. So therefore, these kind of things have its pros and its cons. If Mohun Bagans win Super Cup, will they qualify for both ACL? No. So they can't. No? It's ACL 2 qualifiers. the second spot goes to the team which finished second in the league stage, which means FC Goa would get the spot. They get the second spot in the qualifiers. Yeah. Right, we are 40 minutes already. If you haven't, do leave a like, do leave a share behind. Support the channel. Let's try and fight for the right things. It's a difficult one. 19 likes so far. Thanks a lot. Share with other people, and of course also subscribe to the channel. We're closing in on the 2,500 mark. Yeah. So those of you watching, I realize that half of the people watching these lives or watching the videos are actually not subscribers. So if you can, do subscribe, come back for regular content, and thanks for that. Like, it's better to keep a 10 or 11 team closed league like Aussie. We aren't anywhere near to add teams more than 12 at best. Why people pushing things like 16 teams league? No, I've said 10 teams. A 10-team ISL, in my opinion, would be the best. But yeah. Your opinion regarding Turkish football, how they produce so many talents. So Turkish players are skillful guys. They play a lot of street football, and that takes them to the high levels. Of course, also immigrant communities like here in Germany, the Netherlands, where they pick up players. Hakan Çalhanoğlu was probably the best example. Yeah, that's it. Who are favorites to win Super Cup? Nilaksh, I want to see who's playing with whom in this tournament. It's a straight knockout, so it doesn't matter how good or how bad you play. It's about winning matches. So I think it's an open tournament. Thanks, Ananda, for your time. Tough time for Indian football. Thanks, Shomo. Yeah, it's tough is putting it very nicely. I think it's very, very tough at this stage, how things have gone, how things are going. It is shocking to see how things have gone in the last few months. Yeah. Why did Churchill Brothers withdraw from Super Cup? Because they saw the draw was injustice, because they said we are champions of the league, so you have to place us as number one. So they would have played BFC. Again, all of these are tactics, and I don't know. It's just crazy to think how things have gone in the last few days. In this, unbelievable to say the least. Right. Now 43 minutes on this Saturday evening. Thanks for joining in. Super Cup starts tomorrow. Churchill Brothers vs East Bengal is the first game. I'll be surely talking about this decision, judgment. And Zarawa says, good night in a minute of silence for the funeral of Indian football. Yeah, most probably. We've had a lot of dark days, but this decision by the appeals committee is just unbelievable, unacceptable. But it shows where we have come. And it worries me. It worries me, how deep can we go? We've actually entered a black hole and gone deeper and deeper, or to use a Games of Thrones analogy, saying winter's not coming, winter's here, and we've, rather than leaving winter and moving towards spring, we've gone even deeper into the winter, into the cold, into the dark, into the snow. And that's a worrying sign. Very, very worrying sign, in my opinion. And I hope this is rectified. It can only be now at caste level. So let's see what happens. And Moinak says, I'll take this as last. Bidding for Olympics, Asian Cup, but don't have world-class facilities, basic skills of the sports. The dream of being Einstein without knowing calculus. Yeah. And Nadeem says, expecting Open Kerala to do well in Super Cup, we play good versus top teams away and lose points at home against all Indian weak spots. Yeah, that's also been a good example. Yeah, Nadeem. So with that, let's come to the end of this. As I say once more, please like, share, and subscribe. Spread the word. I guess we have the most honest conversations on Indian football on this platform, and I need your support. We need to grow, and hope for better times, better days, but not looking good at the moment. Good night, everyone.